Hey guys, new video here, transitioning to low life. I'm not going to show a map or anything because this is more of a video of like when to switch to low life, how you do, what are the important auras and things like that. The gameplay is exactly the same. You can watch my VODs on my Twitch channel. There's no difference between the life version and the low life version in terms of like clearing the normal packs because like everything just dies, right? The contagion spreads everywhere, and I can assure you that if you replace side-by-side images of like a T15, T16 map that you want to run, they pretty much be the identical until the very end when you get to the boss, where this has a little bit extra juice to it. And so I'll go over like the quickly right here. So as of the spoder, this can be a suffix on a item, a rare item, and what it does is it keeps slowing down enemies, right? So what it does is it hinders enemies every 1 second. It can stack up to 3 times. So eventually at 3 stacks, they will be taking 15% more damage. Now 15% increased damage taken is usually better than 50% more damage because of the way that the multipliers work as a general rule of thumb. So this like is just a very nice defensive and offensive because you'll definitely see the spider webs on the monsters, and for bosses like the whale temple, which I can run very easily with this build as it slows down all 3 bosses. It makes it piece of cake, and then sometimes the boss won't even be able to like touch you because they're so slow. Okay, another thing that we're using is the flesh and stone. Now enemies near you, they're blinded, so if they use attacks they can't hit you pretty much, and then if they are outside a little celestial circle that you see on my character, then you just take less damage from those attacks. So this is a defensive aura. Skitter bots, interesting choice here because this is just like guaranteed chill and shock. So once again, slow and a more damage taken aura. They're really fast, so they are for single target scenarios. They're always on there, and you might be like, oh, so that's what you took instead of the soul rend. And yeah, it's like a combination because the soul run was like, it was a little bit extra coverage, but I was like watching my VODs of like some of the contagion spread, and it seemed like I didn't really need the soul run. The soul run was like taking up an unnecessary spot where I could like use that for other things, and the sockets are already tight on the low life anyways. So I decided to drop the soul run, and the damage from soul run wasn't really I guess it wasn't as noticeable of a loss as it was gaining like these nice little defensive / offensive modifiers, like all in one modifiers, right? Really nice. We're still using essence drain on contagion. We're still using Essence Drain on Spellslinger and Contagion on Spellslinger, both of them. And that's really our only 2 spells here. We use Frenzy to proc it, obviously, to get some Frenzy charges. We use a Wither Totem to another big, more damage taken modifier on the boss. And then, of course, Discipline to boost our ES. I have 6.4k, but it's pretty easy to get up to like 7 point something if you want to invest a tiny bit more. Male Violence Aura, Zealotry Aura, these are just for damages, okay? They're just pure damage multipliers. Think of it like your 7th, 8th, 9th link or whatever. And that's about it. My movement skill of choice is Dash because I have a Helm enchant that gives me 100% distance. You can see like how fast my dash is, right? It's pretty cool. And so like if I'm running, I need to get up a ledge, I can do that. But usually just to feel really good, right? It has like a fixed cast time instead of so a little bit different than Flame Dash. It feels a little bit smoother to me. Okay, that's all the stuff here. Anything else important? The Prism Guardian is for the low life. You put all your auras in here. Zealotry, Male Violence, Discipline. I will have a POB down below to kind of see, so you can kind of see like what I'm using and then compare it to yours. Because like the only real things to know is like the rings. I'm using Ventnors for resist, and they don't give any ES or anything, but they do give quantity and rarity. And I do notice a lot more drops. This affects everything. It affects the currency, affects the uniques, and it is definitely noticeable within a few maps if you have been running a lot of maps. Okay, another thing about this is that the Ventnors, they kind of like fix a bug with the dividing it to perfect with the harvest, but I won't talk about too much about that. That was another reason I was going on. I was like, whoa, I can get like some perfect ones while using them and getting the benefit, but that's not true anymore. They fixed that, I believe, and so that kind of sucks. But the quantity is very strong and the rarity is extremely strong. Don't underestimate rarity once you have a little bit of quantity, because there's a lot of uniques that sell for quite a bit in this game still, and it's early in the league, so that will definitely push your profits up a little bit. So Magic Find's pretty OP, but you can go with like ES and resist rings if you need. Shavs is mandatory, and then because if you're gonna go low life, you gotta protect yourself here. I'm going a Presence of Chayubi because I do not want to get stunned. I love how much Chow's resistance it gives me, and then also you can use the defense modifiers or I believe the life modifiers to make this 24% instead of 20. Okay, Anointments, I'm choosing Graceful Silk just because I'm poor and I can't afford the oils. That's about it. Shield is your biggest source of, the shield is usually your biggest source of ES, and, it's your biggest source of +1 gems and life, like a little bit all around defensives there if you were the life version, but we're switching to the Prism Guardian, and so we have a little bit of resist and as well as a little bit of the plus auras here, so that's why they're in there. In here, this is where my dash is and my summon skitter bots, and then here's my spell slinger, and then here's my spell slinger, and this is my totem setup with the flesh and stone in here. Okay, that's about. These are my flasks. I'm just gonna mouse over them. I'm solving bleed here. I'm solving heat here. I got warding here, and then the rummies is because I am using a thread of hope. Get a -10 if you can, right? So you lose the least amount of resist possible. Very large ring, and that allows me to take up the sanctity. It allows me glancing blows. Glancing blows is like really OP combined with the rummies, and then of course the retribution is a little bit of damage there. Other than that, this jewel right here is a really nice addition because if you mouse over, you get a 27% damage over time multiplier, and you can take a look at Watcher's Eyes that have male violence multipliers on there. It's pretty insane what those prices are at this point in the league, right? Just for a little of extra multi, especially since you have a lot of other multi on the tree. This is a tree. I'm using an intuitive leap here to save some points down here to get this and this. Now it's funny because like my mana reservation on my life, I actually needed a 1% mana reservation jewel. I wasn't able to reserve like the last little bit of the spell slinger without it, so I put it on I just got like a 1% jewel right here, energy from within. Okay, you can get on any rare jewel if you want. There's no big deal there. Like you can get on something like this. You can get on a unique jewel, which I was using to start, and that was like 30C. So that definitely fixed things for me. I'm using elusive. Elusive is like super OP, and then I switched from this escape artist to this because like this I can't be stunned anyways, so this is now my ascendancy. Okay, when do we swap and how do we get the gear if you are playing the light version from the previous video? And that will be when you can afford a shavs and then maybe some ES gear. Okay, so the mandatory things for this setup here is the shavs, the prism guardian, which are actually pretty cheap right now. You don't even need a present shiny, but you can craft your own +1 or +2 amulet, and then probably like some ES gloves, boots, and then maybe you can use this helm. You can use Hubris Circlet. And then the wand, you should have a +1 or +2 wand from your life-based version, and then you should be good to go. So here, all you're doing is getting ES pieces. So this is ES and resist, ES and resist. This is a shavs. Rings, you can go ES and resist rings, right? And then the amulet, presence, or a maybe a what's it called? +2 amulet with percentage ES on there, of course. Shield, this is what I use, so you can't really change this out, but that's like maybe 1 ouch now. And then this one's really good because it gives you a little bit. The transfiguration basically takes a percentage of your life, mana, and ES, and then turns it into damage. So a little bit extra damage here and some global ES, so it's not too shabby and it's pretty cheap. And then as for the flasks, don't really change. I mean, if you have life flask, you're gonna take it off. So really, that's all you're looking for. I'd say like a general rule of thumb is like, take a look at your life total, okay, and then try to get that much ES on your ES total. All right, you can use POB to find out how much ES you would have with certain pieces of gear. But gear like this, if you look at it, it's like nothing really special. Basically, like these pieces, weren't really that expensive, and then all you gotta do is get your shavs and basically your gems. Okay, that's when you're gonna switch over. A note to think about when I switch from life to ES, and once again the POB is going to be down below for this low life version, is that once again I only ever realized it a little bit on bosses, I guess, and even then with like this level of investment, which is not that much, I did feel that I was struggling sometimes on certain map bosses if it was really crazy rolls, like 8 mods, Conqueror's Awakeners. Like, not struggling as in like, you're always getting one shot or like you're not able to kill him. It was just like you're just waiting around a lot because that's what you do with the dot builds. Things to improve. You can get a Watcher's Eye somewhere with male violence mods to get more damage. You can get better gear. +2 amulet would be about like probably 20-30% more damage, which is really nice. But I just didn't feel like I needed it. It cleared everything reasonably, and it was kind of relaxing, like sitting around on the bosses. Okay, this node right here, Arcane Vision, you can craft this one on a jewelry, I believe, nowadays. So you could like save this point if you want to, but this is like the general tree. Feel free to play around with it and see what you want to do. Like, this video is like very simple because I just get asked sometimes, like, well, I was getting asked a lot, like, to kind of go over the tiny bits of this build, and like when do I transition to low life, when like is it worth it transitioning. And so yeah, I just made this, and it is actually really easy to transition over. Okay, the gear is so generic, and it should kind of work for everyone, even if you don't have that much money, given once again that you have like the shavs. Okay, other notes about this. Oh, it handles the garden really well. Like the low life, and like you put on the wither tone, it kind of like tanks for you, and it does the garden really well. You can dot everything up, run away, and then go back at it if the enemy is still alive. Okay, it's super laggy in the garden, so that's kind of an issue. And one thing I noticed is like not being able to stun or freeze the monsters as a dot build after a while. It might get a little bit annoying, but what can you do, right? So yeah, that's the video. That's just a quick overview on like why why I chose certain auras, like when do you switch over, and level wise, I guess lots of people ask level wise, maybe level 90 or something. I was like life until like 91, 92, I think. So and I wasn't really you know, that triggered by like the build or anything like I thought I would be by not going low life earlier. Okay, so that's the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys are really loving this league. This league is amazing. The patch is coming out tomorrow, and so I just want to make this short video. Okay, bye guys, bye, love you guys, bye.